Well, I guess that was the longest 2 minutes of your life, but I'm glad that you chose to spend it with me on this Thursday going into Friday. Well, I guess where I'm at, it's now Friday, but welcome to Sketching Past Midnight live wherever you may be. I forgot my whole shtick, but this is the place where we talk about all things comics, sci-fi, horror, fantasy, pop culture, and everything in between. Um, and some cryptids and monsters and things that go bump in the night, and nothing goes bump louder than my character Wildcat, which you saw, if I can speak the English. Um, you just saw a trailer for it. Just want to remind everybody that will be watching this live and potentially watching the replay that you can go to Indiegogo right now while the time still is allocated for it, and consider backing today. You're going to get an 80-page plus book featuring 6 different creative teams, and you're getting a story about this undead man named Dean Lazarus, but most people know him as Wildcat or Agent Wildcat. He's been captured by the evil Dr. Terror, where he's trying to find out about the whereabouts of the mysterious and powerful ancient weapon, the Shigorn, or the Asgani Shigorn. Okay. And pretty much what happens is a lot of anarchy and mayhem and lots of superhero 90s goodness going to be hitting you in the face with that campaign. It's 80 plus pages. So if you want to get your copy, you need to go to Indiegogo to do that. And you only have 2 days. 2 days. And I'm sorry if you've not heard about it before then. But, if you can dig money out of the couch or do something like that, bum some money, maybe even, or, if you got food stamps, go, I heard rumors that some people sell their food stamps, they buy cartons of pop and exchange it for money. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that people have done that. I'm not saying do that for my campaign, but just throwing out random ideas. And I think for $25, it's a pretty good deal for 80-page plus book where you're getting up and coming rising indie talent. You're supporting an indie book company, helping it get off the ground rung by rung. So that is now my 5-minute sales pitch. And what have we got in store for you tonight? Well, let's see. I've got all kinds of things. I don't think it's anything worthy, super exciting. Well, I maybe I always like to hear about interviews and things that's interesting. And this, I know most of you don't know what the heck this is, and honestly, I forgot all about it. But I talked about it in one of my prior live streams that I've done. This is Image Plus. This is a magazine that was put out by Image Comics. I don't even know if this is still in circulation, but they have cool previews of comics that they've got coming. What's going on here? This guy getting treated for a gunshot to the stomach. Yeah. They've also got, let me see here. They got old school interviews like what you used to get out of Wizard magazine. So that's pretty cool. And there's one interview in here that really caught my eye. That was pretty cool. If I can actually get to it. And, I may read some of it to you. I don't know. But Image at 25 featuring Wallace Portacio, and talking about the early days of being at Homage Studios, Image Comics, Wildstorm Studios, that sort of thing. So we may or may not read this. Also on Sketching Past Midnight Live, I may talk about this little manga a little bit. And then here's this wonderfully suggestive, openly perverted, action, interesting sci-fi manga, Gleipnir, or I don't know how you pronounce that. I don't know. To me, it's Gleipnir. So I got these two things here for you. Later on tonight, I've got my Superman Unchained, which I will be looking at and just, basically looking at stuff to draw, sketch to get better. So maybe one day have a career at this funk. And then of course, probably sketching from this as well. I don't know. It depends on if I have time for everything. But the cool thing is I actually do have a bit of cryptid news for you. And so we'll get into that. And let's see. Before I do that, I just want to put out the question of the day for those watching live and those that will be watching the replay. Now, first of all, we're probably not going to have many live people tonight because there's like 30 different live streams that's going on right now. And I chose kind of a bad time to get on because a lot of these live streams share many of the same viewers. But I don't know. I just really wanted to live stream. I enjoy it sometimes, other times not so much. But I do have a question of the day. And it should show up here at the bottom of this ticker. Okay. And the question is, what comics do you enjoy reading right now? What comics do you enjoy reading right now? And so I'll answer. I'll attempt to answer that here soon. And let me check out the comment section. Our most excellent friend Josh is here with us tonight, and he says, "Sell the food stamps." That's correct. It is the only way. It is the way to purchase your copy of the Wildcat Anthology on Indiegogo right now. And as the ticker showed previously, there's only 2 days left to do that. You got to raise $1,500. It's all or nothing campaign. And, if I can't raise the funds, then, even if you've backed, what will happen is that money will go back to you. Indiegogo sends that money back to you. Okay. So it's kind of like, no harm, no foul. And that's the way I like to do business, And this book is also 75% finished. Pretty much all I got left to do is to letter my contribution and work on some of the fake, funny, whimsical ads. And then the worst part is the formatting. Oh gosh, stupid formatting. I hate that. Can't stand it. Let's see. But anyway, I did mention that I do have some breaking cryptid news, believe it or not. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, the Jersey Devil, Ghost, the paranormal, witches, warlocks, the whole 9 yards. They've went underground. Something's getting ready to happen. It must be. It's just so odd. We used to get a lot of this stuff in the 80s, a little bit in the 90s. And it's like, as soon as the millennium hit and everybody had cell phones and cameras, everything's camera shy now. It's very strange. Very strange indeed. Okay. So hopefully you can see this. I'm just kind of flipping around here. Okay, there we go. That's pretty cool. Gotta scratch this eyebrow. Makes me feel better. All right, today's headline comes to us courtesy of the Daily Yonder. I've never heard of this before. Then I don't hear half of these things before I even go on live. No disrespect to the Daily Yonder. Keeping it rural. Was it rural? Rural. Daily Yonder. The headline reads, local lore. The Kentucky cryptid researcher wonders if mysterious structures could be Bigfoot graves. The growing list of evidence composed of footprints and curious mounds and stick structures make the local investigator ask whether Kentucky's Bigfoot buried their dead. Okay, and this is written by the amazing Liz Carey. I keep wanting to say Liz Cheney. No offense intended, but Liz Carey. And this was of December 17th, 2021. So that's fairly recent, roughly about a year, give or take. The article continues. Could large mounds in southeastern Kentucky be graves of dead Bigfoot monsters? That's what Thomas Markham, that's a very local sounding name. Thomas Markham, the founder of the Crypto Crew, a cryptozoology and paranormal research group based in Kentucky, and the author of Understanding Bigfoot, Helpful Information Answers to Common Questions, wants to know. In early December, he wondered on his Crypto Crew blog whether or not large mounds found in the woods of Bell and Harlan counties in Kentucky could be grave sites for the famed cryptid. Bigfoot grave sites, he said, may be the reason why no one has ever reported finding Bigfoot skeletons. And this is the first time I've ever heard of this claim, by the way. Let me wet my whistle before we go any further with this. Markham described the sites as two large mounds of dirt and rocks around 30 to 40 feet apart, located deep in the woods of Kentucky. This is an area where I have had several Bigfoot encounters and found many tracks, Markham said. Now, of course, I have no idea if these are really graves or just odd humps of dirt on the ground. It could be nothing more than a natural formation of something a person did a long time ago. I would not dig into them. Why not? It's just, listen, listen, Thomas Markham, Thomas. I know that we're not on a first name basis, and you probably never ever will watch this live stream, but it's a big mound of dirt in the middle of the woods. Yeah, honestly, nobody's going to care, more than likely, if in my opinion, in my skeptic's opinion, those mounds of dirt, if they are anything, they're probably Native American burial mounds, and those are just all over the place. And now, if it is a Native American burial ground, you don't want to be digging around in it. But at the same time, how do you know it is one or not? So if you happen to find human remains, that would be a good cue to stop. And cool thing is, archaeologists can go and do that, or maybe some Native Americans that have forgotten that they've got relatives buried in these mounds can go and I don't know, honor them or something. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what these mounds are? They're probably nothing. They could be like leftover stuff from coal mining, where it's just like mounds of dirt from digging and stuff, from various equipment. I don't know. That's something to think about. But come on, Thomas. Before we even know what anything is, you gotta start digging, buddy. Grab a shovel, dig a couple holes here and there. Get a metal detector. Let's find out what this is. Let's not leave things open-ended. So anyway, I have not and would not dig into them, but I am confident that Bigfoot does bury their dead. All right, we're looking at a picture here, courtesy of Thomas Markham from this was taken in Harlan County. Possible Bigfoot footprint found in southeastern Kentucky, and it is a looks like 9 inches, almost 10 inches long. Okay. In an email interview, Markham said he had many sightings of Bigfoot activity in the area, and he's been researching Bigfoot for more than 20 years and has seen Bigfoot many times. I've seen it on several occasions, he said. They're not dumb animals, but very intelligent beings that have a language. Over the years, I've had many things happen, spoken with thousands of witnesses. I found a lot of evidence of these forest people. So I'm not going to debate, Thomas on that. He's seen what he's seen. I have no reason not to believe that. But come on, buddy, grab a shovel. Let's start digging in these mounds. Let's find out what's there. Markham said one of the misconceptions was the Bigfoot was only in certain parts of the country, like the Pacific Northwest. He's had plenty of sightings of Bigfoot in Kentucky, he said, starting when he was a teenager. Well, that's pretty cool. My first encounter happened when I was 15 years old. My father and I were coon hunting, and we had something pace us on the side of the mountain. Our dogs were terrified, and so were we. At the time, I didn't know or understand what was pacing us, but years later, I'd figure it out. Well, I don't know. I mean, could it have been a large cat? Or, off chance a black bear, I'm just thinking here, In 2013, he said he not only got a clearer view of Bigfoot. All right, now this is where it gets good. Now we're getting to some good stuff here. It was cold and a snowy day. He said we got about 2 to 3 inches of wet snow. We live in a very heavily wooded area with forests in front and behind our house. So do I. I looked out the window and saw this very large, I guess around 10 foot tall, black-haired creature walking on the side of the mountain. I was maybe like 100 yards away with a clear view, and this large black figure stepped in between 2 large trees and moved off to the right and up a small ravine. I like that. That's pretty good. A 10-foot tall, black-haired creature. I kind of like to bring this guy on the show and interview him if he would come on. Recently, Expedition Bigfoot, a Bigfoot investigation show on Discovery Channel, spent time in the same area looking for evidence of Bigfoot. In season 2 of the series, they found numerous accounts from residents about mysterious sights and sounds. One of these witnesses, Tracy Turner, that's another local name, a pastor and former employee of the Kentucky State Police, produced audio recordings of what he heard. In season 3, the investigators returned to the returned to the place. How about that? And found what they believe is primitive DNA, possible evidence Bigfoot lives in southeastern Kentucky. According to Markham, it should come as no surprise that Bigfoot has chosen the bluegrass state to live in. Why not? It's a nice state. The area is not subject to extreme cold temperatures. There is abundance of food and water sources. There's plenty of natural caves and old coal mines for shelter. I have researched extensively in Harlan County, and it is a prime area for Bigfoot, which I think Harlan County and out in that direction of Kentucky, I think there is a lot of coal mining and stuff. But coal is drying up in the state. Some of it is because they got the coal out of the mountains, and the other is just like regulations. Regulations pretty much is killing coal. And it gets really hard to start the coal companies up again for some reason. It's just easier just to leave them shut down. Kentucky in general has long been a hot spot for Bigfoot sightings and encounters. Since posting his question, Markham has gotten some heat over whether or not the mounds he photographed were Bigfoot graves. Well, I had questions, but I wouldn't consider it heat. But he said he never said they were. He just posed the question, could they be? I've spoken with many witnesses and researchers, and the general consensus is that Bigfoot buried their dead. If a Bigfoot gravesite could be found and dug up, it probably wouldn't change a whole lot within the cryptid community. Most of who gave genuine interest in the subject already understand there's plenty of evidence confirming the creature is more than myth. And there you have it. That's your cryptid news for the day. Let's answer some comments before we get into some shenanigans. Josh writes, right now, I'm reading a manga called Apple Black. Is Apple Black any good? I'm pretty, I'm very, very picky about my manga. It has to have really good art and a really good story. I'm not into stuff like, is it Naruto? Not Naruto. Well, it was like it's like a teenager ninja series or something. I can't remember what it's called. I'm not really into that stuff. Who knows? Maybe I may pick up one and just start reading it one day and it'd be like awesome. But for me, the art and story has to be really good. So I'm kind of curious. What Apple Black is like. The fantastic Sideburns is here with us. Also, a fellow contributor to the Wildcat anthology, the 80-page anthology with 6 amazing creative teams on it, 80 plus pages on Indigo, on Indiegogo, with only 2 days left to fund this amazing book. So head on over there now if you haven't already. Sideburns writes, Artcast and CB are both on tonight. Hard to choose. I choose CB today. That's right. This is where to be. There's actually like both the Artcast are on. I don't know if the other Artcast is over with or not, but I do know that Jeff and Gibbs Artcast is going on. I'll probably lose like 100% of my audience now, but I will say, don't want to upset people, but one of my favorite live shows or live stream shows on YouTube is Jeff and Gibbs Artcast. I really enjoy it. I genuinely do. I'm currently reading Battle Angel Alita. Okay, cool. I like the I've not read it. I do like the movie, and there's a lot of fans that are clamoring for more of that movie. For a sequel and stuff. I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel. I thought Alita Battle Angel was good. Our most excellent friend Abe Sepian is here. He is also a contributor to the 80 plus page Wildcat anthology. Hello, good sir. Glad to have you here as well. Actually chose both to promote the Indiegogo or IGG. I guess that's what IGG means. Indiegogo. All right. So, drinking my water because I don't have diabetes. I have a sugar problem that potentially one day if I make it to old age, it's going to be the thing that may kill me horrifically. Just saying. So I'm going to have to, this is going to be a weird setup, because I got this tripod thing that I'm using. I'm not using my phone and the tripod on it, and it's a lot more handier, I'm kind of doing like a very Spartan approach to live streaming. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that, so, not going to be able to Zoom like I can. I'll try to see if I can get this thing to lower and stuff. So you'll have to bear with me. So, before I do that, a few more questions to answer. Abe Sapien says, they hit all my Facebook groups. They hit my city and around abouts. You're awesome. Thank you. Yes. And also with some nudging and some help from the fantastic RJ Johnston, I did do a Facebook ads with very, very limited success, but it was worth a try. I had gotten up to the letter G or J on Twitter of tagging everybody that starts with the letter J. I mean, I went through A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, something like that. But a lot of those are just kind of like repeats of people that I already have in other things, because sometimes if the first letter of their name starts with a J, it'll pull them up, or other times if their last name starts with a J, just little oddball stuff like that. So, getting complicated here, but been hitting the live streams, not so much here lately. I have contacted people privately, like people that are part of comic scenes that are booming, and I've asked people if they'd be willing to have me on their live stream and stuff like that, and basically no replies. So that's kind of like that's the answer I got. I mean, not none of yuns, the art casters, all the art casters, pretty much everybody that watches the show and vice versa has been awesome. Okay. I'm talking about like some different folks, and yeah, they just ain't having me on their streams. Let's see. Nellie Sings, the most excellent one, is here with us, and thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. CB Smallwood, all right, so this is where the party is. I hope so. I'm trying to get the party started, trying to get it lit. Ooh, I hope there are Comic Start readers here as well. 80 pages of a comic is, it's like 20, 40. That's like 4 comic books, really. 20, 40, 60, 80, right? That's like 4 comic books that you're getting in one big thing. Nice. We're talking about you, CB Smallwood, the Wildcat Anthology. Get it now. Jeff and Gib are missing you. Well, CB. Well, what I plan on doing is I'm going to try my best to entertain you all with these things that I got. And as soon as it gets boring, I'm going to hop off here and see if Jeff and Gib are still there, and I'll work around in the chat or something like that, Okay. So with that said, let's get into some me answer this question. Okay. So the question at the bottom of this ticker, if I can, there we go, right there, is question: what comics do you enjoy reading right now? And if I remember right, Sideburn said Battle Angel, Alita, and then we also had Josh saying he liked Apple Black. Okay, so my answer to that question is, obviously I've already shown you this, but I've been I've been reading Glee Up Near, and I actually have like 6 or 7 volumes of this digitally. Okay, so I kind of binge read it at one whack. I loved it so much, I actually went and bought this at like Books A Million or something, and I will buy the whole volumes and stuff like that. This one was like it's $12.99, so that's the reason I didn't buy a bunch of them. But I really like the art in it, and the story, of course. The concept's really cool. There we go. So you see this costume creature thing. Well, this is a teenage boy. I hope the audio's still good. I'm talking behind this book, but this is a teenage boy in Japan, and basically he just wakes up one day where he can turn into this monster, for lack of a better word, and he has concerns about it. He has questions. He doesn't really understand why he is the way he is. But anyway, what ends up happening is early on in the book, this girl right here, she's in a barn and she's getting ready to commit suicide, and it's lit on fire. He doesn't know any of this. So he turns into the monster, saves the girl, and then it gets kind of weird. Um, Gets a little pervy. It's a little bit of a pervy book, but So here we see the barn that's on fire, or whatever, storage building or something. Who knows? Um, he saves the girl, pulls her out of the burning building, and let's see, where's the interesting part that I wanted to show you all. Oh, look at this. I like that. That's really cool. I love the art in it, and the little manga techniques. You see the dots on the face, uh, right here where my thumb's at. See all those dots? I know it's kind of hard to see, and also there is, or there is this neat little. It's not cross hatching. It's like this weird pattern. I'm pretty sure that most of this is digital. Probably not the line art, but maybe like the little cross hatching effects. But I like that. That's pretty cool. Look at this. Look at that. You better believe I'm going to steal that. Yeah. Look at that. That's awesome. I love that, Um, so this is where it gets interesting. So he saves her, and what's he doing? What's going on there? So now he doesn't do anything. He realizes that he's doing something crazy, and I think it's supposed to be implied that when he turns into this creature costume thing, that he has an animalistic side. But I don't think they do a good job of explaining that. Instead, from a Western point of view, it comes off a little pervy. But he saves the girl, walks off. That's pretty much all that happens. But what she ends up doing, she finds his cell phone. She blackmails him. She knows that he turns into a monster. They form a weird relationship. The suicidal girl and the monster kid, and basically, she knows that there's other monsters. She knows a little bit more than he does, and that her sister potentially killed her parents, and she wants to hunt her sister down and get answers. And there's a way that these monsters are created, and it involves aliens and stuff like that. This is a good book. I highly recommend it. The first book is enough to get you interested, but I think if you bought like 2 or 3 volumes, you'll be like, oh wow, this is great. Okay, so like if you just buy the first book, you'll be like, this is pretty good. But I love the way that this artist does his speed lines, the way he draws faces. I love the energy, the pacing, the layouts. It's really good. And then once they start going into the forest to look for some weird coins and stuff like that, it gets really cool. And I love the way that they that this artist draws trees and leaves and weeds. You know, I like that. I like that little odd stuff. Let me answer some questions, comments. Let's see. Nelly Singh says, let's get the likes up, chat, and show some love. Hearts and more hearts and hearts. Press that sub button too. Oh, love that. I'm very close to getting 600 subscribers. So that's neat. Neato Cheetos. Audio's good, CV. Thank you. I'm glad that it is. Last time I was doing a thing where I was starting out here where you see me now, and then I go over to the art table and was drawing, and somehow like the audio from here to there turned into Mickey Mouse. Like I'd be talking regular, and all of a sudden I'll be sounding like this. What you doing, Goof? I don't know, not quite like that, but it did not sound good. And I was like, for crying out loud, why is it when I try to do something cool, everything just gets all messed up? I hate that. Why can't I have a cool setup? I don't understand. Our most excellent friend, Ape Sapien, writes, I like Feather by Steve. Oi, Yui by Steve. Steve's a good man. I like Feather by Steve. Fantasy that has a cool take on the genre. It has been stuck in my head for years. Feather. Is that a manga, or is that like a European comic, or what is that? That's very interesting. Which I will try my best if I can remember to check out these other. I'm somewhat familiar with Battle Angel Alita, from the movie, and Josh had recommended Apple Black, which I have to check into. Abe says, in reference to this book, Gleipnir, that gray tone with the white background is always neat. Yeah, the gray tones in this book is excellent. And it's just a very well done book. And it's like I can see why manga is winning the comics war, if there is such a thing. Like why most young people are reading this stuff now is because they're doing what Western comics used to do in the 60s up to the 90s, which was you watched the cartoons, you bought the comics, you watched the cartoons. You go to the store, you buy the toys. There was these three things going on. There wasn't even movies, just comics, toys, and cartoons, and they were all together. I mean, shoot, you go, in the 80s, you bought Masters of the Universe, He-Man toys, and a lot of them come with little free comics that you would read, with them. Then you had the Saturday morning or the early morning cartoons of, He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, and it was just awesome, and everything was like that. There was like this really brilliant synergy. I mean, like the X-Men cartoon got me into comics really heavy. I mean, I was before, but like it dialed it up to 10. I became a Marvel zombie. I bought everything that had an X in the title, not naughty stuff, but X-Men books. Okay, Cable, X-Men, X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, X Factor, kind of on and off. Really liked Jeff Matsuda run, though. I thought that was awesome. And I kind of missed out on the Steve Epting run, which was probably really good. I need to go back and read those. Lots of cool X Factors, actually. X Force, Excalibur, on and off. It depends, I'm leaving a bunch of them off, but I bought them all at one point or another. Then other stuff like Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, big Incredible Hulk fan, and what have you. But anyway, I kind of lost track. I guess my point is, there's no longer that synergy between action figures, comics, and toys. in the West. But I think they've got 2 out of 3 going on. They don't necessarily have the toys that I know of, but you got cartoons and you've got the freaking comics. And I'll show you here if hopefully nothing naughty will pop up. We'll see. Chrome tab right here. All right, you see that? That is, kind of Google that site. Our most excellent friend, Ashen Jackal, had told me that he had watched Gleipnir on like Funimation or something like that. And so I really wanted to watch it, and I found this site and was able to watch like 6 episodes of it. And it's pretty much the manga right down to the T. It's great. So and it's an English dub too, so I really enjoy that. I went all over the place just with a gray tone comment. Yes, we like the little naughty CV. Yeah, it's all right. It's. I feel like it's tasteful and like I feel like, but then again, is it my place to be the tasteful police? You know what I mean? I guess for me, I think things need a little bit of an edge. A little bit of a danger zone. But I guess it just depends. I don't know. Abe writes, manga has a very cool effects that you don't see too often in comics. I'm wanting to learn a lot of the manga effects. There's a guy named by the name of James Heron. And if you bear with me, I'll explain more. But James Heron is an amazing artist. And what I like about him is he's basically taken all the best manga techniques and he just uses them all the time. And I don't understand why I'm not seeing. How about I type in comic artist, see what that does? Oh, there we go. Much better. And hopefully Lord, it's not giving me much articles by the man. I'm gonna look in here. Am I spelling it right? Oh, it's with an A. Okay. I'm going to show you here in a second. You got to bear with me. I'm not a pro live streamer. Okay, I'm going to share a tab. I'm going to show you all something here. I'm doing this share screen stuff like it's nobody's business. All right, you see that? This is a Google search of James Heron, an amazing artist, and he's somebody that I eventually want to get sit down and study. And to me, like as a student of Western comics, studying manga is a lot like going from learning to write in print and learning how to write in cursive. It's the same language, but there's things that are emphasized differently. I mean, look at that. Hopefully you can see that. That's from a book called Ultra Mega, which is it's actually a well-written book. He wrote and drew it, and I highly recommend it. Ultra Mega. Let's see. I'm trying to find something good that I can show you all here. And okay, here's a good page, and I think this right here will open link in a new tab. No, open image in a new tab. How about that? There we go. I don't know if that'll do it good enough, but all right, give me a second, children, and I will regale you with some James Herron art to show you what the heck I'm talking about. It's just like, I'm just getting it pulled up here. I think I've got a good example. So, all right, can you see that? And I'll explain what I like about it. You may have to stick your face like really close to the screen to see the details. But he first of all, he's employing like the brush effect, where he's dipping his toothbrush or whatever it is he's using in Black India ink, and he's flipping it with his thumb, and he's creating these blood splatter effects, which I love. Western and manga artists do this. Manga artists do this a lot. Western artists have kind of quit doing this. But then we've got these awesome speed lines, and then I like how he kind of tapers them off at the end, and it looks like he's using a dry brush, and it's got white out or something on it, white paint, and then right in here he's basically let me try to zoom this. Yeah, I bet you can see it now. Let me make sure. Okay, much better, much better. But right here, he's taking like a paintbrush that's dry. It's got a little bit of white paint on it, and it's dried out. And he's streaking it at the end of these speed lines. And he's also flipping with a toothbrush white paint. So he's creating this dissipating effect that's really cool. And then here's something else, again, doing a white splattering with the toothbrush. And I just love these speed lines through here because, for some reason, my brain can't wrap around doing it. And it's just going to take practice to accomplish that. There is something else that he does and other people do. And it's not shown here, but like you see the hand, I hope you can see what this mouse is doing, but this hand right here, there's many times where I've seen him do like jagged edges on the fingers, on the fist, and on the forearm, where it creates this blur effect, and it looks like it's punching really fast. So I want to learn that stuff. To me, that's like magic. It's like, how are you doing magic? So James Herron does. Oh, whoa! Right here it is. See where he's got the sword in his hand. See how the arm is very jagged. Control plus 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 plus. Sorry, but right here, he's kind of doing it here. But where it's like far away, it looked a lot better. But close up, it kind of looks like eh. But it's a really cool effect that he does. Get it down to 100%. There we go. Whew. It's hot. It's hot where I'm at. Hot, hot, hot. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. At least it ain't hot like it is in Europe, where they're having to endure like 40-degree weather. Oh my gosh. That's terrible. It's awful. Whatever will we do? Nelly Singh says, nice splash page, not stealing, but inspired by it. CB Smallwood. Well, I'm going to steal it. You better believe it. I'll try to find a way to make it look a little different though, so it's not quite a rip off. But it's just that's really cool. And he's talking about there's a scene where this happens. Oops, right there. Pretty cool. Girls in blackmail. Yeah, that's pretty much what sets this whole book off. Where basically nothing is happening until she blackmails him. That's when he goes on his hero's journey. Just need a clip on mic for audio CB. See, I don't like it when people smarter than me. It makes me wonder. That really hurts my self-esteem. I'll look into it. I've been getting little stuff from a studio though, little by little, lights and crap like that. I've been inquiring them from this ancient book that I found in a bookstore. The guy at the bookstore told me that I had just the right character for this book, and really that, you know, I didn't choose the book. The book chose me, and it's called Necronomicon or something like that. And I had to recite this thing like Klaatu, Narata, Kleptu, Kloptu. I'm not really for sure, but just a bunch of weird stuff happened. And then these dark elves, you know, were giggling, and they installed like these lights that are fueled by the souls of the damned. And I hope to acquire more things for my studio to really pimp it out. Well, really, this ain't much of a studio, but it's more like a dungeon than anything. Look at this thing. It's huge. It's French tickler. When women pass by that make me angry and call me names, I do this. And it's like a saw blade. Instant decapitation because it's that long. You're gone, lady. Nellie Sings says, I like grindhouse style comic storytelling and really good framing, established shot making, making mood changes when shot from action, then the close up to show emotional expressions. I feel like this book accomplishes that. You know, I do too. I like that stuff. I think that's one of the reasons that I'm also drawn to 90s comics. And, you know, a lot of people don't talk about this for some reason or not, but 90s comic books are actually influenced by manga, you know, because many of the Image founders who went on to influence other people, they were manga fans. You know, a lot of people don't know that. Not all of them, but quite a few of them, you know, and pretty much all of them have one way or another riffed off of Arthur Adams, who, you know, obviously got some manga going on. Also translates to movie making. Indeed, been watching a lot of movie making or story um, story composition stuff for movies on YouTube. Very helpful to writing comics. Though I guess that's not exactly what you're talking about, but I figured I'd throw that out there. Our most fantastic friend Abe says, very cool, very cool, very cool. Wide shots for action when running or fighting or chase scenes from different angles, but shoot a scene when a person frozen in fear from a worm's eye view to go into a tight face shot framed for expression. A little bit closer. I don't know. Very nice. Very hot heat wave. Yes, agreed. That's going on. All right. Scratch my head. My nifty Wildcat hat. Yeah. Poor thing though. It used to be so cool looking. My hat. It used to be so press and it stuck up on my head. And what ended up happening was I took it with me to work, and then there's like a sweat stain that went across here. I threw it in the washer, and then threw it in the dryer, and then the thing flattened. You know, so it didn't look as cool anymore. But I still love the hat because it's got, you know, it's overall it's a cool looking hat. You know, it's got the Wildcat logo on it. I love it. The extraordinary Despain Comics is with us and says, "Hey there, old son, just dropping in." All right, I love it. I'm glad that you're here. So, we went over this fairly well. I recommended it. I think I should get royalties from Son Takeda for pimping his book. Here's another thing that I've been reading or trying to read. I think I only made it like because there's a lot of stuff I got to read, honestly. I think I made it like 70 pages into this. This is like a 187 page book, and this is called Call of the Night by Kotoyama. And I like the art in this. The art in this is similar to a Gleipnir. But to be honest, a lot of manga art's very similar, so that's very annoying. So I'm very picky again about what mangas I get. You know, it's got to look, it's got to have some good art. Now this artwork is very tiny. It's very tiny, very tight. And compared to the last book that I showed you, not a lot of awesome visuals, really. I mean, there's a cool few things in here. Like I love this headshot. It actually looks better in person than it does on camera. I think this is a pretty well laid out page. This one right here. I'm not giving you the finger, see? I'm just giving this page the finger. But, you know, I kind of like that layout. Simple. I think it does the job that it's intended to do. But again, you know, there's not like a whole lot of awesome visuals. This is mainly just, well, this is pretty cool. I like this. But it's just mostly a story-driven book. You know, it's about this kid who's an insomniac, just kind of wanders the streets of maybe Tokyo or somewhere at night. I don't know. And he basically bumps into a vampire. They strike up a friendship, and then you know, pretty soon mayhem ensues. And I haven't got to the mayhem part. You know, it's just mostly him wanting to become a vampire and her not having it, and how vampires are made is a lot different than how they're traditionally done. And so can't say if I recommend this or not, but it's not a chore to read. I do enjoy it overall. What I need to do is just read it online first. That way, if I like the first volume, I can keep reading, and then after like 3 or 4 volumes, I should know whether or not I like it or not. Let's see. We go to my ticker. Gonna change my ticker for a moment. Just a quick reminder, 2 days left to back the Walk-In Anthology comic on Indiegogo. So if you've not done that, shame on you. Shame. Telling mommy and daddy all about it. You did not back the campaign. I know who your parents are. Yeah, that's right. I do. I know all about them. I've been friends with them for a long time. We talk about you. Yeah, that's right. I am talking about you. You know who you are. Didn't back my campaign. You're just like, you thought you could get by with it. No. Indiegogo tells me everything. Tells me who has backed the book and who's on the naughty list. I'm friends with Santa. You didn't know that, did you? Mm-hmm. It's true. I know who's been naughty or nice. Let me tell you something. You're not because you didn't back the campaign. You're not even getting coal for Christmas. You know, could have got a book. Could have got an awesome book. Okay. You know, it'd be like, and you could reread it anytime you want. You could have sat on the toilet and just, you know, took your time, taking a good, nice dump, nice relaxing dump of the day. Okay. If there's such a thing, dump of the day. Would have had that sitting by the toilet and let all your friends and family read that same nasty book that you handled. Hopefully no fecal matter involved. Very clean hygiene. I highly recommend that. So anyway, I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I do want to mention, if I can go back to this, I had mentioned this. Maybe I may try to read a little bit of this, but this is awesome. You know, it has this Wallace Portacio interview talking about him working at the early days of Homage Comics. So I think it's pretty much sketching time, and I can't promise nothing. I'll move the camera around, hopefully it'll be a good quality. But again, this isn't my cell phone, so I can't really do really cool things with it. So you have to bear with me. The Necronomicon that I have in my possession, I haven't learned to fully use it yet. So I can't really do any wizardry to appease your viewing pleasure. So you'll have to bear with me, and we'll make do, and I'll try to figure this out very, very, very soon. Oh, man. I think it's sketching time. It's sketching time! Your fingers bleed! Well, it's taken me over an hour to start sketching, and I'm still not there yet. And I never will make it to hang out in the chat or whatever at Jeff and Gibbs' show, the Artcast. Well, we'll see. I mean, I wasn't supposed to go there and hang out, as far as I know. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of have fun a little bit for whatever. So, focus camera image at 25 was Wallace Portacio on Blazing Trails of Mentorship. Interview by David Harper. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I think it's interesting. I think you may find it interesting as well. Let me do the cool YouTuber thing where I point at everything with a pencil. Let's see. Let's skip all this crap. David, when Image launched in 1992, the comic industry was in a much different place, and you were as well. It might be hard to get into specifics, but how would you describe that time in comics, both for you as a creator and as a whole? Portacio says, it was a time starting with my time in the X office that everyone felt that everything felt possible. We went from drawing comic books to creating characters. And, well, you probably can't read it anyway, but creating characters and storylines to publishing to advancing new techniques digitally and forming new partnerships, basically doing comics our way. One of the main factors of the freedom we felt was that it was unlike today, where every decision is a multi-million-dollar decision. Back then was the beginning. So it's just as easy as we thought it, then we did it. Which they got that in a big, what is that, a blurb? What do you call that? This right here. It was easy as thought it, and then we did it. David writes, you touched on one of the aspects that people don't really know about when it comes to Image, and that's how Image advanced new digital art techniques. What kind of advances did you all make at the time, and the most digital-centric founder at the time? I'm curious, what part did you play in those advances? See, this is stuff I didn't know, I mean, I knew that Image was at the forefront, but you never knew exactly who was doing what and where and when. But Wallace Portacio says, at the time, hardly anyone even heard of the Photoshop. I had yeah, I better not do that voice. But at the time, hardly anyone even heard of Photoshop. I had a Commodore Amiga 2000. So I was already experimenting with paint programs like D-Paint. So my job was to use Photoshop and try to mimic painting techniques on the computer. People don't realize that at the very beginning, we were digitally painting with just the mouse, which is what I do when I color stuff. I use a mouse. So I would take my time and paint while Brian Haberlin and Alex Sinclair, two great colorists. I like Brian Haberlin quite a bit, though. I think he does an awesome job. Would then try to mimic my techniques and organize them into teachable economic techniques. Through that, we as a group developed all the techniques that everyone uses today. Then years later, while working out of my first studio in the Philippines, where I discovered Lanil Yu, hope I'm pronouncing that right, awesome artist. We needed to transfer to Wildstorm in the U.S. by sending art pages through the internet, which was dial-up at the time. So the files had to be high resolution, but also small in size. Brian Haberlin and I figured out how to scan artwork, compress it so that it was small enough to transfer over the internet. We actually split the file into just the inked line work and another file which only contained the color data. We would send each page as 2 separate files over the internet and then later rejoin the files into the original high-res artwork. I like that. They're figuring stuff out. Then, because I had a couple of inkers in Manila and it was getting too expensive to keep FedExing pages internationally, we experimented with scanning artwork from pencilers in Wildstorm and sending it through the internet to the studio in Manila, and then printing the pencils in blue line back onto art paper so that the inkers could ink. Today, a lot of pencilers who digitally use the technique, and then it kind of trails off, ... So I guess David interrupted him. Quit interrupting him, David. When somebody's in an interview and they've got it really rolling and they're putting something out, I think it's best for interviewers to just kind of let the person finish their thought. You can always write down what you wanted to interrupt with and say it later. Just my opinion. Not that I'm a professional interviewer or anything like that. David says, for a lot of comic book creators, the dream is to draw the characters that they grew up reading and accomplish that tackling some of Marvel's biggest books before you departed to tackle your own work. It was a big risk for all the founders and one that worked out better than anyone expected. For you, what was it about the idea of splintering off and doing your own thing that appealed to you? And did you have any trepidation going into it? I'm very proud of myself for reading a lot of big words and pronouncing them correctly. Wallace Portaccio says, I spoke too soon. Like I started to mention above, going on our own seemed to be a natural progression. And the stakes were not high. If we failed, we failed. And then we would just go on doing something else creative. David writes, if we failed, we failed. That's an uncommon perspective in the art and business worlds. And it was certainly not how the general public responded, as the move was the talk of the comic book industry at the time. Do you feel that there was a significant difference between the atmosphere with an Image at the time and how the comic book industry perceived what you were doing? Last paragraph I'm going to read, unless you want me to keep reading. Well, you had to also realize we were breaking so much ground in digital coloring, merchandising, and advertising through Wizard magazine and so on, that there was no time to think of the possibility of failure. We were just having fun. That's the key word right there, fun. That's what I'm wanting to get into, is fun. Because that's what the fans wanted. That's what we wanted. For the fans, it was great and seemed groundbreaking. To the comic book industry, everything we did was too fast and too new. And since everything we did was always new to the industry, we couldn't understand it at the time. They always thought we would fail. Well, now they do a lot of what we did back then. That's pretty interesting. I mean, this is a great article. I mean, it talks about the studio environment at Homage that would later become Wildstorm, because Homage was kind of half Mark Silvestri and half Jim Lee, but Jim Lee kind of ran the whole thing. And so Mark Silvestri broke off from that, took a lot of people with him, and he started Top Cow. The remnants of Homage became Wildstorm. Yeah, so a lot more to read on that. And, here's the picture of the Image founders. Very cool. Huh. Boom. Drawing time. All right, let's look at some comments before we get sketching here. Here's a link to the Wildcat anthology. And let's quickly check out the awesome Indiegogo. I promise I won't be on it long. I'll breeze through that sucker like you wouldn't believe. All right, so we should be looking at this. Let me check my StreamYard. Yeah, we are. Okay. Where's that thing at? I just lost it. Okay, here we go. So currently we're at $735. And so when I refresh this, it should be $1 million. I've been selling this hard. Better be 1 million. We're going to be mad. Oh my gosh. It's not $1 million, but it's 30 more bucks. And I love you for it. You're awesome. So we went from 730 something to 765. So somebody's mommy and daddy's not going to be getting a talking to. Nuh-uh. The rest of you maybe. But one blessed soul has stepped up to the plate to take us a little further. I'll hit wait. Wonder if it can still see everything. Okay. But anyway, so the Wildcat Anthology, the man they call Wildcat is captured by Dr. Terror, where he's being tortured as to the whereabouts of the Azkani Shigorn, a mysterious object of unknown origins and use. From there, we're taken to the dreams, memories, visions, recordings, and alternate realities involving Wildcat's misadventures. This is a... Oh, wait. Is it still showing up good? Okay, that's all I need to know. There's a slight horror element to this book, a bit grindhouse, tons of action, and a whole lot of 90s. 80 story pages total, over 30 pages by me, CB Smallwood. So that means if you love me, I'm giving you 30 pages. If you don't love me, I've hurt the book tremendously. And 50 fantastic pages by my fellow awesome indie comics contributors. And in no particular order. There we go. Stop doing what you're doing. I hit the stop button. We got RJ Johnston of Zero Comics, publisher of such fine indie comics as The Reverend, My Little Skull, Gruntle, which you can find all at Zero Comics. You can Google his website, and it's all free. He's got free comics that you can read right now. We've also got the awesome Peter DeLuca, a.k.a. Pad, known for his works such as Trial by Fire and also Uzi Susie and a whole bunch of other stuff that he's got in the can. We've got one of the best writers going today, B.W. Sims, working on the Wildcat Anthology and a lot of other stuff. And let me tell you something, high praise here, because I've been reading some stuff that he's written. And if I had to compare him as a writer, I would say that, that Peter David has some competition. Okay. So if you're a fan of Peter David, I feel like B.W. Sims is your boy. I feel like he has a similar writing style. I'm sure he can write a lot of different ways. I think Peter David is one of the best writers of all time in the comic book industry. And I really do feel that B.W. Sims is a force to reckon with. I think everybody that's on this creative team is a force to reckon with, but I just wanted to point that out. We've also got Daniel McGinnis, who is the master of anthologies. This guy has done so many anthologies, we've lost count, but he's currently working on Duckling Star, and we know him as Sideburns. So his secret identity is blown. We've got Allison McGlone. Hopefully, Allison, I'm pronouncing your last name right, and I am terrible at last names and first names even, so forgive me. She is working on The Manifested and A Girl in Her Shadow and lots of other cool stuff. She's done some gray tones and maybe doing some lettering on this. I'm not for sure. Peter Palmiotti, the artist creator of Retro, who has done inks on Iron Man, Uncanny X-Men, Aquaman, This guy is on a tear lately, and he's getting into the back into the comic book industry, and he's being very loud and proud with his skills and abilities, and he's letting everybody and their mother know about it. We've got Jan here, and let's not forget his awesome creation that we're all waiting on, Phosphor. I've been looking forward to that. It's a very creepy sci-fi looking thriller. Abel Parsons with his book, The First. It's went under different iterations, just like my book has. And he's an amazing artist, like many of the people here. Fantastic. We've got C.B. Smallwood. I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but he's the new Empire Comics publisher, creator of Wildcat, Monster Patrol, and a whole bunch of other things that you've not heard of yet. And we got Iwan Joko Triano, who is a colorist extraordinaire with work too numerous to list. And that's the honest truth. This guy is always coloring. He's colored a lot of indie projects. And he colored this. He did this. And so this is the cover to the Wildcat anthology, one of them. And this little box keeps popping up. So there you go. You got 3 choices currently. The comic and a free digital copy. You can get the digital comic, or you can get a variant cover plus the free digital. So you got these 3 options, pretty straightforward. 31 backers with only 2 days left. And I wish that thing would quit spinning. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get rid of it. Shaboom. It's gone. So how's that for a sales pitch? Yeah. So Nellie Singh says, well, I do some filmmaking, CB Smallwood. We need to capture the audio, small hidden clip mics. It helps with film. Less time in studio for re-recording audios and sounds. And yes, clip on mics for YouTube bits. Okay. I will look into it. I will try to invest in that. Let's see. I love his comic book titled Wetworks in reference to the Wallace Portacio interview that I read. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool too. You know, as these guys that basically hunted vampires and werewolves. You know, very cool. And I think there's an audience for that. You know, obviously, you know, I mean, like freaking, you know, Blade, the Vampire Hunter, with Wesley Snipes did, you know, fairly decent. You know. And I think Wetworks would be even better because it's basically, you know, like the crew from Predator, you know, going and with these awesome suits going out and hunting things that go bump in the night. That was loud, says Abe, in reference to its sketching time little transition thing. The first appearance of Wetworks was in Wildcats #2. I remember Yu's run on Wolverine, the storyline Not Dead Yet, really stood out, and his art was amazing. Yes. That was written by Warren Ellis. That was when Warren Ellis, I think, first started writing Wolverine for a very brief run, which is a shame. I thought he did really well with it. You know, he took the book in an interesting direction. And like he does with everything he writes. You know, but I'm a big Warren Ellis fan, among other writers, you know, such as Peter David and Larry Hama's run on Wolverine and Scott Lobdell's run on the X-Men. I thought he did good on Wildcats too, a few other things. But you know, of course, Alan Moore is another favorite of mine. But anyway, writers aside, yeah, you did an awesome job on Wolverine. You know, he kept getting better and better. And but Adam Kubert's probably my favorite Wolverine artist. Very cool interview. It is. It's really good. You know, I don't even know where I got. I think it was given to me for free, that magazine. You know, when I bought a bunch of comics somewhere. I need to look up and see if they kept doing that. You know, that magazine. Please remember to hydrate. I've got my Cumberland Gap spring water. You know what we need? I need to serenade you all with some music. I don't know if anything's any good, but we'll see. If there's an echo, please let me know. If there's not, we're good to go. So it is sketching time. Let me move things around. I got this really cheap. I got it at Ollie's for like $4 or something, and this was. I mean, look how thick this thing is. And I got it just because it was Jim Lee art. I bought the first issue of Superman Unchained, and it looked interesting, to keep buying, but I just, for whatever reason, I just couldn't get into it. Move my mouse out of the way. I'm sorry again, I just can't really see what the heck it is I'm drawing. I can't zoom. Oh man. Nothing better than having the camera right by your face. So pretty much what I'm doing right now is studying Jim Lee, his faces and stuff like that. I'm trying to get a more consistent look, and I just want to. I think maybe like several months ago, I kind of realized that my men's faces are not as consistent as I like them to be. I've been working kind of hard to get a consistent look with the female faces. And poor old dudes, they've gotten left behind, so I need to fix that. Okay. All right. This is turning out fairly decent. Let me pull it up to the camera where you can see it. Not perfect. The eyes are a little awkward. That's why we have erasers. Which, of course, I'm not even using an eraser to erase anything. All right. That's the shortest sketch of all time that I've just done here. I get, I'm getting close to. Probably shouldn't say this, because I feel like we've all had pretty good fun here. But I may end the stream fairly soon. I'll let you know when, because basically I was wanting to go hang out and lurk around in the Artcasters chat before they, go to bed or whatever it is they do. I might be too late. I don't know. It's funny, I'm sitting here sketching this Jim Lee stuff and kind of doing my own thing, and it's looking more and more like Neil Adams, which is not a bad thing. I've been studying Neil Adams a little bit, especially like the early work of Del Keon, which had a Neil Adams thing to it. Neil Adams slash what is Alan? What is Alan's name? He did. Oh my gosh, he's worked on all kinds of different things. He draws very similar to Neil Adams, but it's a lot more cleaner. He did the Savage Hulk book there for a little while. He also did like Savage Wolverine for a little while. He did the Heroes Return, Fantastic Four. What is Alan's name? Nelly Singh says, yes, beautiful. The faster you get on top of accuracy, you can master anything. Jeff and Gibb, Sal, they are still on. Awesome. I'll be there shortly and harass them. All right, that's not a bad sketch. Well, I like the crappiness of it, the sloppiness. It's got a vibe to it I kind of like. It's not the same as this dude here, but that's not the point. For me is I'm just trying to pick up things, learn things, try things, experiment, and stuff like that. So I'm going to head on over to the Artcasters. You've all been awesome tonight. I really appreciate all your support. I appreciate the person that just backed the book. That really helped it get an inch closer to the $1,500 goal. Much love to everybody tuning in. Let me kill this music. I need to kill it. Kill it with fire. How can I do that? Pause. I just hit pause on it. I'm going to head on over to the Artcasters with Jeff and Gibb and just kind of lurk in their chat or whatever and just have fun. I'm going to sit here and sketch, try to learn, get better. Really need to be working on more of the anthology, get more of that done. Bunch of stuff to do with that. Despain Comics has an answer to my query, which was Alan Davis. Alan Davis is one of the people that Dale Keon studied early in his career. It was Bernie Wrightson, Sal Buscema, John Byrne, and I really do believe that it was Neil Adams, in the beginning. But then when he started drawing the Incredible Hulk for Marvel, he started studying for sure, which was Alan Davis. Yeah, Alan Davis. Nice. Keep your style, but be inspired by others, CB. Love the tunes. Oh, awesome. Thanks. So I just want to say I love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I always have this thing I like to end my show with, which is a reminder to be the change that you want to see, to be the tide that lifts all ships. Hopefully I can be a tide one day where I help lift everyone up. We'll see if I can ever get there. If you got righteousness truly on your side, and if you're in dire need, mighty forces will come to your aid. Carpe diem, friends. And until next time, I will see you in the next video. Clicking on random things. I'm lost. But goodbye. Love y'all. Be good. Be good to one another. Well, hello everyone, this is CB Smallwood, and I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And if you want to support this channel, then please head on over to newempirecomics.com. Again, that is newempirecomics.com. And the most important thing that you can do right now, other than hitting like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, is do this. Click on the Join the Mailing List button so that you'll be the first to know when our comics are being crowdfunded, exclusive free goodies, news, and more. You also can click it here, which will take you to the mailing list sign up. Just put in your name, your email, hit subscribe, and you are done. So if you want to be notified when I launch a crowdfunder, or whenever I'm giving away something for free, which I may do on occasion, this is the way to go. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and thank you for your support.